Week 1. It's here. It is here. It is upon us. I'm Nameco. This is Dustin. Fantasy Smack Talk. And what we're doing, we're not doing the fantasy fix anymore. That is gone. But we will still be answering questions in the forums, but the fix is gone. So what we're doing is the rankings. We do rankings every single week, and every day we're updating rankings. We're changing things. So note for these rankings, it's based on standard leagues. Also note that this is shot a little bit earlier, so this will be changing. So as injury news comes out, things like that, there will be adjustments. And again, it is not PPR, so you do need to take that into account. I already said it once, but that is very key.
Yeah, so it's midweek, so this will change. So you can click on the link in the description.
But check back in Sunday too. Sorry, keep going.
Click on the link in the description. It'll take you to the rankings, give you all the little tabs. You can check them out, see where we got people's where we got people ranked. DraftKings, we're running our shirt promotion until September 11th. Follow the link in the card or in the description and follow the directions. It has to be a new account. Remember that. You've already signed up. You have to be a new account. Follow our link. Deposit $5 more, enter a cash game between now and September 11th, and you get a free Smack Talk shirt.
All right, and remember, up until Sunday kickoff, even 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, then it's off. Quarterbacks, let's take a look at our top quarterbacks for this week, and we're going to highlight a couple, and the first one I'm going to highlight is Derek Carr, which he wasn't drafted in a ton of leagues, but we got him ranked number 11 as of right now, and here's why. They're playing the New Orleans Saints, and it's the highest over-under of the week. A lot of these rankings, what we like to look at is Vegas. Vegas, the house always wins. They're really good with over-under numbers. It's not all based on that, obviously, but I do like the matchup for Carr. Highest over-under. I think he's throwing some touchdowns this week.
Another guy we wanted to highlight is Mr. Dak Prescott. Obviously, a lot of hype around this kid after what he did in the preseason. Not a terrible matchup against the Giants. We got him right now at 16, so he's right at that, do I take a gamble range? Do I go with a guy that's a little safer, maybe like a Rivers or a Bortles, or do I want to take the gamble on the rookie? That's your call, but we got him at 16. But there is, with what he can do with his legs, some upside this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 50 rushing yards. All right, let's move into running backs. And at number 15, I want to talk a little bit about Jeremy Langford. If you've been watching our shows this offseason, we've always had Langford is pretty much a 3-down back, going to get a lot of volume, and it took the other fantasy community to come along and agree with us, and they finally have. So we're ranking him as such, as we always have. Right there in the middle as an RB2. Houston's not the easiest matchup, but again, this is a volume play, and I think Langford's going to get a lot of touches.
Guy I want to talk about is Spencer Ware at 19. Obviously, as we're shooting this video, it looks like he's going to be the starter. But obviously that could change if Charles does end up playing. But nice matchup against San Diego. Whenever Ware got touches last year, he produced. He found the end zone a decent amount. So you got to think he's right there. He will probably split with West a little bit, but Ware seems to be the guy to start. And he's right there in the RB2 discussion as well.
Yeah, pretty much starting him, it looks like. So if he's on your wire, might want to grab him. As you talked about in your waiver wire show.
I did.
A little plug for you there, buddy. All right, number 26, I'm talking about Abdullah, the running back for the Detroit Lions. And really this comes down to the Colts defense, they don't scare me at all. So while I don't think the Lions have the best running game in the world, I think, again, he's going to get a lot of touches. And I think there's a good chance he falls into the end zone. I know they have some other guys out there, maybe Riddick will or whatnot, but it's going to be more of I think this is going to be not a complete shootout, but a little bit high scoring. And I just like, again, it's a volume play at this point.
Now let's talk about the Seattle situation. We ranked these two right next to each other at 28 and 29, Christine Michael and Rawls. All signs were pointing to Rawls being right there 100% healthy at week 1, and now they're saying he's not going to be. But is the coaching staff telling the truth? Are they actually going to do that? If Rawls gets out there and feels great and starts playing amazing, is he going to get a ton of carries? No one knows. I don't even know if Pete Carroll knows. This is a mess. Michael did have a good preseason, but it wasn't. All the reports are saying that he just ran over everybody. It was the best preseason any running back's ever had. He had a good preseason against not always the first string defenses. So it's anyone's guess. If you can stay away from this situation this week, I probably would. But they still do have upside.
And this is the kind of thing, if we hear some big news with this where, Rawls is going to be inactive or something, again, that's where you check back the rankings, because Michael isn't going to stay where he is. If that happens, Michael goes way up. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to wide receivers. And at number 13, I'm talking about Dez Bryant. And he's 13 for a reason. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too cute. Don't worry that, you got to worry a little bit that Romo's there. He's obviously not top 5. But, with Prescott throwing the ball there, he's the number 1. They've had good chemistry. So he's ranked as a starter for us. And if you drafted Dez, you should be starting him.
Guy I want to talk about for a second is Mr. Golden Tate. We have him at number 19. Like Brett was saying earlier, Indy's D, not really something that you really need to worry about. This could be a shootout. Over-under for this game is at 50 points, so Vegas thinks there's going to be a lot of points in this one. And Calvin's gone. Golden Tate, whenever Calvin was not playing, Golden Tate was a target monster. He's got a big chance this year to show us what he can do. We like him this week as our number 19.
At number 28, we got Jordan Matthews. And with the departure of Sam Bradford, Wentz, the rookie, will be starting. So Matthews is probably a little bit lower than if Bradford was, because Wentz scares us a little bit. He didn't get a ton of snaps in the preseason. But regardless, I wanted to highlight him for this, just for the reason that I don't think that he's definitely a non-start because he's there. There's not a ton of pass catchers that I feel confident with the Eagles. So I think the rookie's going to look at this guy in his first read. So he should lead the league in targets, lead his team this week in targets.
There we go. Now I want to talk about Tavon Austin. This is a guy I think that was getting a little bit disrespected this preseason in terms of drafts and where he was going and just where that offense is going in general. I mean, I know they're kind of rebuilding, we're trying to get Goff going. It looks like Case Keenum's going to be the starter week 1. But they proved last year that they're just going to get the ball in Austin's hands and see what he can do. And we saw that with his rushing yards. I think that's going to continue. And I do think he has a chance for a big year this year. And we have him as right around wide receiver 3 for week 1.
Yeah, to give him a nice contract. The Rams obviously have faith in him. Mm-hmm. All right, so moving to tight ends, a guy that, please do well because I have so much stock in you, it's not even funny. Martellus Bennett for the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, I think he's going to be much better once Tom Brady comes back. But a lot of people, to me, I still look at him as a viable starter. I don't believe he's Gronk's backup. I'm thinking 80% of snaps, he's going to be out there. They're going to run their crazy 2 tight end sets. And I think he has great chance to get touchdowns in the red zone. Because if you're in the red zone, you're putting 2, 3 people maybe on Gronk. 100%, he should be getting some single coverage.
And one of the reasons I think the Bears weren't too concerned with trying to bring Bennett back is because they have Zach Miller. And this is a legit tight end. I think he's borderline right around tight end 1. We got him as our 13th ranked tight end this week. He's still out there on a lot of wires, so depending on who you have, he might be actually an upgrade. He kind of was a little sneaky in terms of not really getting all the attention that he needed to. Matchup at Houston, don't love or hate that, but I do think he will get plenty of targets each week.
All right, as we move into defenses, I'm going to highlight the 5th overall defense we have ranked for week 1, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing the Tennessee Titans, and the Tennessee Titans were the most favorable offense versus defense last year in terms of fantasy points. Right? Okay, so the other thing I just want to say, note season-long leagues. I actually like the Minnesota Vikings defense for season-long as well. The reason they traded for Bradford is they think they have a good enough defense and a good enough run game to get them into the playoffs and maybe do some damage. And their defense has a lot of young players with upside, so I think they're interesting season-long, and I think they're very interesting week 1 as well.
And I want to talk about the Chiefs at number 9 at home against the Chargers. I know you look at, Chargers, they got a good offense, but as of late, the Chiefs just seem to have their number. They have a hard time, and especially when they're playing at Arrowhead. Yeah. It's a hard place to play. I think there's a good chance they get some pressure on Rivers, maybe force a mistake, maybe get some sacks. Don't mind the Chiefs this week.
All right, so that's it. So remember, check back often for these rankings because they will be changed. Also remember, it's for standard leagues.
It's very key. Sign up for DraftKings, subscribe. If you got questions, post them in our forums. Good luck week 1.
Week 1!
Yay!
Pen flip me.
You never catch it.
I missed that so bad.
Pen flip me.
Oh, nice catch. Keep holding it.